Welcome to the Crucible.
Welcome to the Crucible. Husky, how are you?
I'm doing great, Paulie. How you been?
I've been better, and I apologize for my voice in advance. I was rocking out last Thursday. What's today? So we're recording on the 7th.
Hmm.
I was rocking out last Thursday, man. We went to a concert in Clarkston, Michigan. Me, a couple of my brothers, and the best man in my wedding, and I was the best man in his wedding. So a really good friend. Do you know the band Tool, or ever heard of the band Tool?
Yes, of course.
Okay, the lead singer Maynard turned 60 years old.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Nuts, right? So he's also in 2 other bands,
Okay.
Pussifer and A Perfect Circle.
Okay.
So those 2 bands and Primus, have you ever heard of the band Primus? Les
I know
Claypool,
Primus. Yep.
amazing bassist, probably the best bassist out there. That's could be debatable, but they played for 3 hours, and dude, it was one of the best shows that I have ever been to. Maynard's voice hasn't changed since he has started rock and roll.
That's great.
He
That's good.
he he's just so good. That sounded like a studio album, that concert. If you were there in Clarkston, Michigan, leave that comment in the comment section. Let me know if you were there. But it was the coolest thing ever. It was
That's awesome.
they all jammed at the same time. It wasn't there was no waiting for other, they were just all on the stage celebrating his 60th birthday, playing with all the bands. Nobody left the stage. They all just rocked out together. No phones. They wanted no phones there. It was just a
Nice.
great show to enjoy. And I
That's
mean,
awesome.
most, if not all, really did follow that rule. I've been looking on YouTube and I did find a couple videos of people recording, and there was a great commentary at the beginning about what they do to people when they find them and they're recording. And it's got a lot to do with the mystery meat spam. And they said, well, we find you, we take you out back, and we grind you up, and you become part of spam. So
Nice.
it was
Nice.
fun. It was a blast. But I think I picked up a sickness there, and I did lose my voice for a little bit because we were jamming out, but it's coming along.
Yeah, it's glad to hear you, man. Glad you're back in full force. And guys, you are listening
Capacity.
to the Crucible. I'm Emil, and this is Paulie.
Ollie,
And
what's up?
today we have a very interesting topic. Paulie, you saw a video that you brought to my
Yes.
attention. Tell me about it.
Okay, so for those who don't know, there is a gentleman by the name of T the Silver Stacker on YouTube, Stacking Channel. I will leave his information down below. We will leave his information down below. We'll link this video that we're going to talk about. His channel, go to check it out. So it was a PCGS and NGC submission.
Mm.
Without having the video, and I should have took a note or two, I think they were 1983 Libertads from a bank roll. And he took them to his coin guy, coin shop, coin guy, whatever you want to call him, right? And split the roll right down the middle, sent half to NGC and the other half to PCGS. And this was a long process. They did a video prior showing what they were going to do. Well, now it's here. 3 months later, the coins are back and they're checking out the grades, right? And I sent you the link.
Oh
And I
yeah.
said, check this out. This is actually a pretty good video for a conversation between you and I, and even spark a little interest between the chat and anybody who watches it. Number one, who do you prefer? And number two, the outcome of that was kind of crazy, and that's why we're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to link the video below after this show. You're welcome to watch it and come back and give us your thoughts on it. But
Sure.
essentially, what happened was he first unboxed the NGC coins, and if you guys
NGCs.
don't know, I'll tell you there's really 3 to 4 bigger companies that do these gradings. One of them's NGC. Numismatic Grading or Guarantee Corporation. Thankfully, it's
Okay.
written right there.
Yeah, right.
That's what their slabs look like. Really pretty, white, very clean looking, and they stack really nicely.
Yes.
The other big one, which I believe has been around a little bit longer than NGC, is PCGS, and their slabs are clear. They also stack really nicely. And then there's a few other ones, ANACS, and of course now CAC is also grading coins. There's others as well.
Yes.
But the thing to know with these is with any grading corporation, you're certifying that it is at whatever grade you're putting it at, and these generally go on a scale of, uh, you know, what is it, 1 to 70 or 0
Yeah,
to 70? I don't even know if there's a 0.
yeah, I would say 0 to 70, or we'll call it 0 to 7, but I believe 1 to
Sure.
70.
Yeah, so it goes up to 70, right? And
Yeah,
70 being an absolutely pristine coin, no blemishes, no marks, no nothing. It's perfect, like it just got struck today, right?
sure,
That's what a
sure.
70 would be. So
That's
you
what
would
we're looking for.
expect that's what you're always looking for, right? So you would expect that all of these corporations have the same standards to go by when grading their coins. Well, as a result of this video, it was quite apparent that they do not grade the same.
Yes.
Uh, Paul, you want to tell us what came up with NGC? How did those look?
So he got his NGCs back, and they ranged from 64 to 66, I believe, was the high number on the NGCs. Which I don't it's tough to tell because you're watching the video if there's any excitement there. Now there is some excitement with the PCGSs because some of them did grade a little bit higher on the PCGS side. So when they opened those up, he got as high as 68s
Right,
from the PCGS.
right,
So the question they rose was, well, why? I mean, alls we did was split the roll right down the middle and send them in. Why did these come back so different? Why were there so many lower grades with NGC and so many higher grades in PCGS? Now, the higher grades, yes, you're gonna hopefully catch a little bit more money for when you go to resell those because it is a higher graded coin. It's just the name of the game. Higher the grade, the more money it's worth. I think that's
right.
pretty much why the grading system was invented, right? We had Evan on here talking about the Sheldon grading system and why a 70 is a 70, and that's 70 times what do you say the face value of said coin is what it was supposed meant to be.
Mm. So I guess thinking about that, let's go back to what's the whole purpose of grading in the first place? Why would you want to grade a coin?
Number one, to certify that what you have is legit, because I know of people who have sent coins in and they come back as fake.
Hmm.
If they didn't have a way to test it, they bought this thing, it looks in pristine condition, and then they get it back with nothing done, and it's just saying, "This is a fake coin. We can't grade this."
Right.
And
That's one.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's one reason. Then
Yeah.
to keep your coin in the condition that it is in. Now, don't get me wrong, these things, they aren't completely airtight, and over time, silver is going to tarnish, right?
Right.
But it's meant to be able to hold its the way it looks, I guess if I wanna put it that way. It's
Right.
a 70. If it's a 70, it should stay a 70 inside of this holder, right?
Right. Yep. And it's water resistant. I think
Water
another good
resistant,
factor to them
dust
is that
resistant for sure.
that guarantee of the grade kind of gives the
It's on
holder.
them. Yeah,
Right, yeah. So it gives the holder, almost like I would say almost like a bargaining chip. It saves them
sure.
the trouble of having to identify the grade by eyeball, right? So if
Who
I go to
hasn't went
like
into a coin shop and saw all the Morgans and peace dollars that may say MS65, MS64? Well, if them were 64s and 65s or higher, don't you think that coin shop would have sent those in already? Because
right,
they know the value of a 64 and a 65 over
you're
top
talking
of
about
62, 63 in the paper flips,
yeah, and
right?
in a flip and it's scribbled on there with a pen or
Yeah,
something.
scribble
Yeah,
on there with a
yeah,
pen, and then you
yeah.
get it and you send it in and it comes back uncirculated
Artificially toned
details.
or
Yeah,
something
artificially
silly
toned.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I've definitely been stung by that, and undoubtedly, we're gonna have in the comments somebody say, "Buy the coin, not the holder," right?
Sure,
Buy
sure,
it by
sure.
your own ability to
By all
grade it
means.
by eyes, right? By your vision and
That's right.
identifying what you see as flaws or imperfections or whatever. But this creates a problem when you have NGC grading much lower than PCGS, because that tells me one of two things. Either NGC is undergrading or PCGS is overgrading. Neither
Or
one of them is good,
yeah,
right?
th
Go
th
ahead.
that's the problem with the video is, number 1, it is a great video showing the differences between the grading. As far as we know by watching the videos, those coins were in the same exact condition that they were when they got shipped to each grading company,
Right,
right?
right.
Now it just means, okay, can he take those ones from NGC, bust them out of the holders, and expect to get higher grades from PCGS? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen there, right?
Oh yeah.
What we do know is, you said, was one undergrading. Well, is one being more strict? Does one company over the other only have a handful of 1983 Libertads in a grade of a 67 or higher, and that's what they have to go off of? Say, well, we have these ones that we've already graded, and this coin looks nothing like those. So how could I
Right.
give this a 68 when it looks more like a 65?
Yeah. And not as an accusation, but there is the possibility also of population control, which, I mean,
Sure.
let's be honest, that could be a case. That could be a case if they say, "Hey, look, guys, for this coin in this year, we only have, 7 instances of a 70, and we have
Yep.
45 instances of a 69. We don't want to see too many more, right? So grade, very strictly on those." And that could happen, but the problem is it's not objective anymore. If you're doing population control, that's not an objective evaluation of a coin.
You're just being bad at what you should be doing by just grading the coin. And they have so much stuff sent to them anymore. I mean, you're talking monster boxes of eagles being shipped to these companies just to catch a grade of a bullion coin. That's
Yeah.
insane. Insane. Just to be, again, like we've talked about, you're at that point, there's nothing special about this coin right here. This is a Type 2 American Silver Eagle 2021 with a label on it.
Yep.
This came out of a tube that looks just like this right here. You
Mhm.
know, it's crazy to think of how many of these are being graded anymore, and that's not that it's a bad thing, because I get that people they do collect the labels, and I also have PCGS here. So these were both graded 70s, right?
Mhm. Yep.
I mean, I gotta assume that they're both 70s. It's the it's the
It
goofy.
We can only assume, right? And
Yeah,
that's
I
the thing
mean,
is like,
that's the problem. There we go. That's the problem we're having now with the way those were graded. Now it's an assumption. Was a guy having a bad day, or a gal having a bad day, who graded those coins from NGC that day?
right? Or
Did
did
they
they
not?
just
Yeah. Did
not
they
pay
not like the
attention?
name? Yeah. Did they not pay attention?
So I've received a American Silver Eagle graded 70 that had clearly a scratch going right down the side of it, like right down the field. And I was like, how? I mean, it's 70. I'm glad it's a 70, but do I
But
feel
how?
comfortable selling that as a 70, knowing that it's got a big old scratch on it?
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't know. I almost felt like, why was this sold to me as a 70? Why did this get graded as a 70? Because I paid for a 70. That's not a 70. So
Right.
it puts you in a predicament, as a buyer, as a seller, as a collector. What I did like is, for a period of time, CAC was putting on
Yes.
those labels. They were
Yes. Good
basically an
point.
independent reviewer. Me on my main job, I'm an auditor, and that's the purpose of an auditor, is quality assurance. You're assuring
Sure.
the
Sure.
quality of a process that's in place. So in this case, you have these coin graders, right? And these coin graders are identifying these coins based on their grade, and they're labeling it as such. And you would expect that there would be some kind of independent, preferably third party, such as CAC, that would go behind and verify that, yes, that is accurate. That is actually that grade. But then they start their own company, and now they
Yeah.
start their own grading service. So it kind of takes away from that, because yes, you can get it directly from CAC, but now who's auditing them? Who's
And can we
verifying that
yet?
their stuff? Can you what?
Can you or I send a coin to CAC yet and get it graded, or is it still like
I
dealers
haven't
only?
checked. I'm not sure. I mean, we could talk to Sean D'Souza, see if he
Sure.
knows. But
Sure.
yeah, that's something that we could look into. Guys, if you know in the chat, let me know, or let me and Paulie
Yeah.
know if that's a thing. Can you actually submit to CAC?
Yeah, that would
Also,
be good
if
to
you've
know.
ever received a coin that has a misgrade and you think it's really, really a bad one, let us know. We would love to hear about that.
So that's a good spot to kind of end this one. Other than, who do you prefer over grading? If you were to send coins in now, I know it's kind of a touchy subject with you because you did have some things happen to some of your coins sent into, what was it, NGC?
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of bitterness and resentment
So
towards
without bringing up too much
NGC.
heartache, we're also going to link that video in the description of this video.
Oh yeah.
Definitely check out that one. But I would have to say you've cut ties with NGC then, huh?
I have not submitted anything to them, and I have ended my membership with NGC. If I do buy a coin here and there and it's graded by them, fine. I didn't
Sure.
have an issue with their grading. It was more their handling of my coins that I had
Very,
submitted, and
very special, limited
poorly, yeah, poorly handled.
coins.
Very special coins.
That was a
But
good video.
anyways,
You guys should definitely check that one out. The slabs, as far as the design, which do you prefer superior?
I actually really like NGC slabs. I think the PCGS take up less space, which
Yep.
is nice, but it's only marginal. But the NGC slabs, they kind of seem more sturdy. They seem more
They actually
durable.
stack fairly nice together too.
Yeah.
So, which is nice. I'm the same way. I prefer NGC over PCGS. Although what the Ultra Breaks did with this one, it's actually pretty cool with the American flag. I've never seen it before, but I do dig their gold shield label. It's just
Mm,
it's not a standard. You have to pay extra for it because I guess you get some type of imaging, you get some
right.
high definition imaging online of it. But the like this plastic, because of the white, you can't tell that it is like super clear. But even with the coloring on this plastic is just so like crystal clear.
Yeah.
So I do dig that about PCGS over NGC. But as far as in hand, I just like the NGC over
Yeah. I'm the
PCGS.
same.
So
Yeah.
let us know what you think as well in the comment section.
I think the PCGS one doesn't scratch as easily either. I feel
And
like
what's
NGC
with
scratches easily.
now that we're on scratch resistant, why pay extra for scratch resistant? Just give me one slab. If you're gonna
Right.
charge me $5 for, I mean, just give me the damn slab. I don't want it scratched. Just
Yeah.
like lenses and new glasses. Well, do you want the anti-scratch or don't you? Just give me it. Don't
Yeah.
ask. Just give me it. I'm gonna
It
be
should be
using these
included.
things. They gotta be cleaned. I don't want them scratched. Just
Right.
give me the anti-scratching, please. So
All right.
I'm very curious to see what T and the boys do with those coins, if anything at all. But it does raise a lot of questions, like we wanted to do here. So raise the questions in the comments of why. Why is one different than the other? Come back after you watch that video if you haven't watched it, and let us know what you think in the comments section.
And don't forget
Oh,
to
and don't
sign
forget
up. Sign
to
up to
sign up.
win the 5-ounce wood pour. Description below.
It is
You'll
there.
you'll find the
Husky,
details.
we will see you next week, brother.
Peace.